Oh my gosh, guys, I am so excited for the next couple of videos. These are by far my favorite videos to film every single year. Also to watch on YouTube. I watch like 3 hours of them in a row. Best of 2018, here we go. Hello everyone, I'm here today to share with you guys my best of beauty, all from the drugstore. We're gonna do a full face of makeup using my absolute favorites from the entire year. I have done these for the last like probably 3 or 4 years now, and I love doing them. So I'm gonna be doing one today. This is drugstore today. We're gonna do high end, I think on Thursday, and then worst of next Sunday. So stay tuned for those. Make sure you're subscribed so you don't miss out on that. But these are all products that I have used a lot of throughout the year. I just keep reaching for, and I tried not to copy the ones that I used last year, although I mean I was going through the list, I was like yes, still love. But I'll link that video for you guys at the end so you can check that out after this video. Give this video a big thumbs up and make sure you are subscribed so you don't miss out on new videos every Thursday and also on Sunday. And without further ado, let's get into this. So first things first, we're going to start with the brows and the 2 drugstore pencils that I've been really enjoying this year. One is by L'Oreal, it is their Brow Stylist Definer, and then the other one is the CoverGirl, what is this? Ultrafine Brow Pencil. They're basically the same, but both products are very creamy. I like the undertones for both of the ones that I use, and I like the spoolie at the other end too. It's just stiff enough that it works the product through the brows really nicely. Okay, now that my brows are done, I also added in a little bit of clear brow gel, which is the one by Benefit, which is not a drugstore one, but I literally did not use any drugstore ones the rest of the year. So I felt like it'd be weird if I included one that I didn't actually use, but we'll get into that on Thursday's video. So now onto the eyes, and I'm gonna start with the CoverGirl Lid Lockup. This is a primer. I talked about this a lot this past year. It's been a really good one. It just holds the product on really well. The eyeshadows smooth on top of this product extremely nicely. It's got a little bit of tackiness to it, which makes it great for any sort of nice glittery products or shimmery products on the lid, but it's not so tacky that everything else looks terrible. I don't know, this is just one of those products that surprised me this year. I'm like, huh, who knew I was obsessed about a lid primer? Okay, and the first eyeshadow product I'm going to talk about today is by Maybelline. This is their Soda Pop palette, and I just really like this palette. The first time I used this one on camera, I did like a purpley orange look, which I was obsessed with. I love how that look turned out. So I think today I'm going to stick more with the neutral tones. I'm going to do more of like a smoky eye, but this shade right here, Chilling, is just a staple of mine. It blends out the darker colors so perfectly. The quality of these shadows are amazing. Like I feel like drugstore in general, like all of the eyeshadows have just like really up the quality. It's amazing. So I'm going to start with that shade, the Chilling shade. I'm just going to dust a little bit of that just underneath the brows, a little bit on the upper part of the lid, just to act as a bit of a base for the rest of the shades. Then I'm going to take Coke Float right here, and I'm going to use a big shader brush, and I'm going to kind of press that all over the lid and just like a little bit into the crease. Like, look how pigmented that is. Oh, and it's a matte. And then I'm gonna sweep a bit of Crushing, that bright orange shade, over top. And then before I go on to blending this all out, I'm just gonna take a bit of Root Beer, and I'm just going to smudge that right along the lash line. Okay, I've added a little bit underneath the eye as well, blended most of it out, and I also wanted to show you guys I added a bit of Cherry Cola right in the center of my eye, and I mixed it with another one of my eyeshadow favorites from this year, which are the Colourpop Jelly Much. Honestly, Rachel. The Colourpop Jelly Much eyeshadows, which is a jelly kind of based eyeshadow, hence the name. But not only are they super fun to play with, but they are so creamy. They're so easy to blend out on the eyes. I will put them right in the center of the lid for that extra little pop, or I'll just put it all over the lid and do like a really natural everyday look. This one right here is We Jammin', which is one of my favorites. It's a really pretty, like a champagne gold shade. Gorgeous on the lid or like in the inner corner of the eye. Another one is a Short Circuit, which is more of this like reddy bronze tone, but I find as long as you use this plastic thing and seal it, it does last a really long time. It's super affordable. I always see it as like an online brand, but I wanted to include it because this brand is super affordable, and that's kind of what we're talking about today. Now I want to get into eyeliners, and the one that I have used the most often from the drugstore is the L'Oreal Infallible Long Wear Eye Pencils. two different shades. I've been using a lot of black, and I think this is just brown. This is just one of those pencils. Sorry, I have to sharpen it because I've used it too much. As soon as I put it onto the waterline, it's not gonna budge. It's not gonna give me raccoon eyes. It's just gonna stay put, be creamy, and super matte. I love it. Honestly, I like it better than some more expensive liners. It's just a really good kohl liner. For mascara, the one from the drugstore that I've been loving the most is actually one I use primarily for my bottom lashes. It's the L'Oreal Voluminous Original in Burgundy, and this just adds a nice like layer of warmth to my lower waterline, like that lash line area. It warms it up. It's not too like black. It adds a little hint of color, but it's not super obvious. It complements my eye color very well. I love this mascara for that purpose. And then for my upper lashes today, I'm going to use the L'Oreal False Lash X Fiber one. This one has two different sides, so you apply one first, and then the second one has like those little like false lash fibers in it, which is going to add a lot of length. It's going to add some volume to the lashes as well. It's a really pretty mascara, so I've been using this a lot. Now moving on to the skin, and this primer that I'm about to use is one I used so much in 2018. It was a #1 favorite of mine. I love how it makes my skin look. It is the Pixi Rose Flash Balm. This is actually a 3-in-1 product. You can use it as a mask, as a moisturizer, I believe, or a primer. And I've been using it as a primer, and at first I was a little skeptical, which I say in every single video, I feel like, but like, honestly, how can you have a product as a mask as well as the primer? I thought it would be too heavy on my skin, but it lifts everything up, smooths it all out, keeps it nice and hydrated without feeling greasy. And I find that a lot of different types of foundations sit really nicely on top of it. So I just take some in my hand like so, and then smooth it onto the skin, and it is just perfect. Okay, now onto foundation, and I gotta say, this one surprised me. I was not expecting to like this one at all. It is the Colourpop No Filter Stick. They had launched a liquid foundation previous to this, and I didn't like it. I didn't like how it sat on my skin. It didn't wear well for me throughout the day. So when they sent me this one, I was like, I don't know if I'm gonna like this. But I was wrong. I will fully admit it, I was wrong. This one has a medium buildable coverage. It smooths out really nicely on the skin. And when you blend it out, like my pores disappear. It looks like my skin, but better. Everything is blurred out. It is so beautiful. Honestly, guys, I can't get enough of this product. It's so pretty. I like buffing this into the skin with this is actually a powder brush, but I use it for foundation. And I find that it gives my skin a really nice airbrush look when I use it with this stick foundation, and I like the effect. It looks really good. Although I gotta say, the foundation that you guys chose in the Best of Beauty, where I tested out all of your favorites from 2018, I gotta say that's another really good one. I was gonna include it in this video, and then I was like, no, I need to switch it up. For concealer, my go-to this year, and I've tested out a lot of different concealers, and this one I just keep going back to. I just keep loving on this one over and over again, is by L'Oreal. It's their True Match Super Blendable Concealer. I have here C2 and N2 Fair. These ones are they're really blendable. I love the sponge tip applicator. They're very, very pigmented, very full coverage, but it doesn't settle down. It's not too drying. It's not too oily. The consistency is really good. The one that you guys chose in the video I did on Thursday, also a really good one. Really enjoy that one and use it a lot too. But this one I just keep gravitating towards because it's good. It gives me the coverage that I need. It doesn't crease. I don't look like a raccoon at the end of the day. I love it. And I like to mix underneath my eyes, C2 and N2. And then we're just gonna blend it in with the sponge. Get that product all in there. Now for powder, I gotta say, there weren't a lot from the drugstore that really impressed me this year. This one definitely high-end category, which will be coming at you on Thursday. That area, like, they nailed it this year. But there is one that I do want to mention. This is actually by Joe Fresh. And when I was testing it out originally with Adeline, Chris had disguised all of our makeup and we had to guess if a product was high-end or drugstore. And we honestly thought that this was Laura Mercier translucent powder. But it's a good powder, and it's one of the few this year from the drugstore that I just really found to work well for me. But seriously though, if you are looking for a powder that is going to give you the illusion of like a filter on your skin, stay tuned Thursday. Like, I have some gems for you. We're just gonna fix up the under eye area, and I'm finally gonna use that mascara that I talked about earlier. The effect is really, really subtle. I don't know if it's gonna pick up as much on camera as it does in person, but it is really pretty. Honestly, guys, you need to try this one. Now getting into bronzer, this has been my favorite probably for the last 2 years, and nothing has unseated it. I don't know what to tell you guys. It is the Physicians Formula Butter Bronzer. This is the light bronzer, and it's just been a ride or die for me. The undertone is perfect. It's super creamy. I use this in my subscribers best of 2018 video. This was your favorite as well, and there's a good reason. It's a great bronzer. Another one I do want to mention, just to like mix it up a little bit, one that I was using a bunch is by e.l.f. This is the Forever Sunkissed bronzer. It is a matte bronzer. It was a nice shade for me, not too dark, not too gray, but not too red orange for me either. So I did like that one as well, but the butter bronzer is always going to be my favorite. I feel like nothing ever comes close. For blush, there are actually a couple of favorites that I've been really enjoying this year. One is by L'Oreal, well actually two by L'Oreal, the Paradise Enchanted Scented Blushes. These are the peach scented ones. One is in the shade Fantastical and the other one is Bashful. Bashful is probably the one I use the most often. It's light enough for my skin so it doesn't look too clownish on me. They both have a beautiful warm coral undertone, a little bit of a gold sheen to them. It's not too aggressive, but it does warm up and give that kind of soft glow to the skin. So been really enjoying these. I also really fell in love with the Rimmel Maxi Blush Powder Blush in the shade Sweet Cheeks. Again, it has a little bit more of an orangey-er undertone and it's matte versus these ones have a shimmer to them. But this one has also been a favorite of mine. And then lastly is by Burt's Bees. This is their Toasted Cinnamon Blush. It has definitely more of a bronzer vibe to it, but when you apply it to the skin, it warms everything up. It has a hint of blush tonedness to it, if that makes any sense, a hint of warmth without being too muddy on the skin. And I also use it a lot as an eyeshadow on those no makeup days. I'll throw this on all over, put it on the eyes as well, and I'm good to go. So this has been also amazing. But today we're gonna go in with Bashful. I have two favorites for highlight this year. One is by e.l.f. It is their Shimmering Highlight Powder in Pearl Glow. Could not get enough of this one. It is so blinding on the skin, guys. Oh, it's beautiful. It looks very white in pan, but when you apply it to the skin, it has this pretty champagne, warm, slightly gold undertone to it, which is it just warms everything up a little bit. It's not too icy. And then the other one is by Colourpop. This is their Lustre Dust in Strobe Globe. If you want a really intense, over-the-top dramatic highlight, this one is incredible. This to me is something that I use as just that like little extra like on the skin that's just gonna give that oomph that you want. Like flash photography with this thing is unreal. Like Instagram loves this stuff. So I think I'm probably gonna use a little mixy mix of both today. So that right there is just the e.l.f. one. Haven't even applied the Colourpop one yet. And then I'm just gonna pop just a tad of the Lustre Dust like right on top of the, like, look, did you see that? Oh my goodness. This is like one of the most blinding highlights I have ever used in my life. For lips, I had a couple of favorites that I wanted to mention, although I can't put them all on my lips as much as I would want to. Number one are the Colourpop Ultra Satin Lips. This one is in the shade Magic Wand. It's just been a go-to for me. I just cannot stop using this color. It is incredible. The formula feels really silky on the skin. It's light, but not too light. It's basically Your Lips, but better for me. And like, it's an amazing shade. The other one I really like is by NYX. It's their Powder Puff Lippy, which gives more of that soft, almost velvet stained look to the lips, and it's super pretty. I use it in a couple of different shades. This one is Best Buds. This is Teenage Dream. Both are really pretty. There's a coral one as well that I'm obsessed with. The formula is really cool with this. And then the last one is by Pixi. It's their Matte Last Liquid Lip. This is in Matte Beige. Also, their bright tones are incredible. This is in Orange Red. It just like pow on the lips, unbelievable. This is a very intense color, but I also really love the applicator. It has a fine enough tip so you can like really get into the corners. It's nice and creamy, but it's not too creamy. It's matte, but it's not like drying matte. It's a very good formula and a great find from the drugstore. Today I'm going to use the NYX one just because I feel like it's the most unique of all of the different formulas, and I feel like it requires me to wear it to kind of explain what it looks like. Now you can just apply it in the center of the lips and have it like fade out to more of an ombre look. You can apply it all over. It stays put pretty well. Do you see what I mean? It's very soft, it's very subtle, but it's still there. It doesn't feel gritty on the lips, like it's not powdery at all. It has good longevity to it. It's not super long wearing. It is gonna rub off on like glassware and like when you eat and stuff like that, but it's gorgeous. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous formula. And then to set it all in place, Flower Beauty Seal the Deal Long Lasting Matte Setting Spray is awesome. You guys know how particular I am about the nozzles of these setting sprays. It seems to either be like a light dusting or a garden hose. There's no in between. But this one is really, really light. Do you see that? It's like a cloud. So it's just like, it doesn't make my skin feel tight. I don't like really mattifying setting sprays for me personally because I don't have oily skin. I don't want anything that's going to make my skin look really harsh or feel really dry. But this sets everything down really nicely. You don't get water droplet kind of things on your face. You don't have to worry about just being like super soaked in the face with water. And it's just a really good one. Just a really good setting spray. So out of everything that I talked about today, what was your favorite product? Do you like any of these products? Do you not like them? Let me know in the comments down below, or let me know what your #1 drugstore product was from 2018. Make sure you check back on Thursday for the best of high-end products. I will be also doing my worst of 2018 products because I got a ton in that category. So subscribe so don't miss out on those videos. I know you want to. We have new videos here every Thursday and Sunday. We are a very positive fam here. Like, we are all just like, we boost each other up. There's no dragging involved in our little community here on RachhLoves. Like, you guys are so positive in the comment section. It's amazing. You know how rare that is these days? But check out the videos on the side if you have missed any. I hope you guys are having an awesome, awesome weekend, and I'll see you guys all in my next video. Love you all. Mwah.